and welcome back to the IWAR Network Tubecast. I'm your host and NWL Commissioner, Alex G., and along with me, as always, IWAR Commissioner, Matt Riley. How you doing tonight, Matt?
Oh, I'm still excellent.
Still excellent, all right. This episode will be the Dog Days Cycle in Review.
Damn right.
So we'll go over champions real quick, starting with the BRL. League champion, Sinister Steve Stryker. TV, Product of Arrogance #2, Atlantic, Punk Rock Mike. Central, King Ferdinand. Dixie, Colonel Dirk Vanderback. Eastern, Nightmare Sam Hell. Mountain, Midnight Warrior. Northern, Lord of Illusions. Pacific, Urban Model, Aisha Diaz. Prairie, Ghostly Shadows. Southern, Executioner. Western, Sir Gunter Kinderwatt. Tag Team, Executioner and Classy Eddie DeGrassi. TV, the Saskatchewan Sasquatch and Ghostly Shadows. Six-Man, the Canadian Crusher, Jack Molson, Randy the Ram, and Lumberjack Zach James. TV Six-Man, Bruiser, Brett Brown. Judge, and Captain Bristle Hackback. Awesome. So, Matt, what's going on in the BRL?
Oh, well, it was an action-packed cycle of trash talk. We talked in our pre-show that it has gone from being sort of just a giant traffic jam of angles and trash talk to kind of more of a storylines taking hold. People are starting to really work those storylines out, and it looks really good. And we have Autumn Anarchy 6 coming up soon, and that pay-per-view will be not in the next one. In the next cycle, we hold the matches, and then the cycle after we write the results up. So that's one of the drawbacks out of the way, is that you can don't get instantaneous feedback if you want, or instant gratification. So you get to kind of take some time and work off the results. And it can be good because sometimes the results are not what you expect, and you're going to work off of it, So
yeah,
we have a huge card with big matchups. Boy, I tell you, the fans will really be hanging from the rafters.
it's going to be a happening, folks.
It is. Boy, howdy. He's going to work over his lateral collateral muscle.
Yes.
No, it's really shaped up nicely. We have some strong players, trash talk wise, and we have some more who are joining us. Newer players really bringing it to the table. So, I'm enjoying what we see here. I'll leave a quick preview of Autumn Anarchy 6 so people can know what's coming. And just as a heads up, when you send your trash talk in, you can trash talk up to promote your match.
Yes.
So it's a good idea, if you haven't already sent your trash talk in, promote your match. So our show, in no particular order, we have the flag match, Team Canada versus Team Spain, as Canadians Randy the Ram and Lumberjack Zach James take on King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. Oh, those cross-dressing brawlers from south of the border are at it again. They used to be the Kardashians. Now they're the Spaniards or whatever it goes. Spanish Inquisition. I don't know. No one expects it.
No.
Next up is Submission Challenge match. FL Slobberknocker versus El Barbero, as two masked men go at it head-to-head on. We have our Canadian strap match with 500,000 thumbtacks on the mat. Which I think, actually, if you fall on that many thumbtacks, it's like those bed of nails. Doesn't impact. You're fine. It's Canadian Nation, Canadian Crusher, Jax Molson, and Canadian Hammer, Gunnar Molson, taking on the hated Blood Money, Hot Stuff Adam Cash, and Fatty the Butcher, who recently angered the Canadians by letting them know that they were going to burn the Canadian flag, but they didn't want to insult arsonists. That's just not nice. Next up, we have a Russian death match. Rude Duty versus Luther Alexander in a feud that continues to grow. Duty's not sure what the Russian death match means, but he wants to win it. So maybe the ring will be surrounded by dead Russians.
Oh, there's lots of things in the works.
Anything could happen. Next up, we have a barbed wire fire bucket match. I don't know what the fire bucket means, but I'm curious to see how that plays out. As the Leather Brigade, Frank Leatherman Snow and Dark Phoenix FS.
Now, a fire bucket seems to me would be like those barrels that fucking bums use to keep warm. I can see that like in each corner.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
Right.
Perhaps we'll see.
The bums use. They faced the Moonshiners, Elijah the Mountain Man, and Willie the Wild Woodsman. And I'll tell you, I enjoy the Moonshiners.
Mm.
I actually used the image of the Moondogs as their avatar, if you will.
Nice.
And I was always a big Moondogs fan because I remember there are a few of the Fantastics. Or,
Yep.
sorry, Fabulous ones.
Yep.
That was fantastic. Next up, we have a last man standing match. Agent 26 versus Fatty the Butcher. Agent 26 looking for revenge on Fatty the Butcher, who broke his ribs at a Magic Bash IWAR ladder match.
Yes.
Which is part of that match. Yeah, so, yeah. That should be interesting to see what happens. Next up, we have Sir Gunter, an 8-man match. Sir Gunter Kinderwalk, Superstar Rick Riley, Punk Rock Mike, and Agent 26 pulling double duty. He might be a little banged up for his team as they take on Noble House.
Uh-oh, those guys are trouble.
They sure is. Black Superstar Bobby Bedlam, Tony Dime, Jimmy Henchman, and Roughneck Nicky Rock. They've come into the BRL and really been going after some of the vets and fan favorites. They're not nice guys.
Not at all.
Next up, we have the 5th match in the Best of 7 series. I'm sorry, 6th match. It's right now a 3-2 lead for the Saskatchewan Sasquatch as he faces Chief Bold Gray Fox. Now, it started off with a 2-0 lead for the Sasquatch, and then Bold Gray Fox came rallying back, tied up. Sasquatch took the 5th match, and now in the 6th match, pivotal here because if Sasquatch wins, he wins the series and earns a shot at the IWAR World Champion.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So big doings there. Next up, we have a match that Ghostly Shadows will determine the special type of match. It's Ghostly Shadows versus Senya Lucha. Senya Lucha believes that there's some sort of curse on the mask he's wearing, and he thinks Ghostly Shadows is behind it. So that'll play out there. Of course, we have the IWAR World Tag Team Championship as the Monroes from the NWL. Is that Piper and Ulysses?
Yes.
Okay. Take on Black Wrestlers Matter, the world champions, Black Predator and Silverback Jack.
And you never know. I mean, with Black Wrestler Matters on one side and the Monroe family, this can be an all-out war. We can see a lot more members of each side get involved in this match possible.
Yep.
So real interested to see what happens there.
Oh, it should be excellent. And finally, our main event, Sir Gunter Kinderwalk defends the title against the Black Predator, who won the ladder match battle royal to earn the title shot. So the IWAR World Championship is up for grabs.
Oh boy.
That's your lineup for Autumn Anarchy 6, which every year the Autumn Anarchy show seems to be pretty big. Last year we had the big El Hijo Armas Archuleta versus Arabian Dream Atari match. And this year we have some big matches as well. So it should be a fun show.
It sounds fantastic. Now, one of the things that I do with my trash talk from time to time, I do post it on the IWAR Network Facebook page.
Yes.
And it looks like Rude Duty had read my trash talk before doing his. And he basically was able to kind of use my own trash talk against me. So, great job. I love that Rude Duty trash talk this cycle. So, pouring more heat on the fire there. So, we also have a nice picture from El Barbaro that says Leather Lives Don't Matter, which is nice. Good trash talk from Bodacious Biff.
Yes.
I enjoy his stuff. His stuff is really good. Catfish Rob and his group did a great job as well. Randy the Ram, his Rampage is always fantastic. And again, the Canadian Nation and DOD really putting in a lot of work here. So overall, real good stuff for the BRL. So next up, we have the CWL. We have Unified Wildcard, Garrett Shadowstar. Streaming Media, Clark Pierpont. United States, Harry Hoodstar. Yukon, Fleetwood Statler IV. Caribbean, Fergus Brennan. Amazon Basin, Doug Gavilon. British Isles, Clyde Cosworth. Arabian, The Tyrant, David Hammerhead. South African, Great White Dragon. Siberian, Axel von Snopp. East Asian, Goliath O'Brien. Oceanic, Koenig. Unified Tag Team, Fergus Brennan and Goliath O'Brien. Streaming Media Tag Team, Wildcard Garrow Shadowstar, and The Tyrant, David Hammerhead. Unified Six-Man, Carton, Cornelius Wardorf, Koenig, and Fleetwood Statler IV. Streaming Media Six-Man, we have the Von Snopps of Victor, Alex, and Axel. So, Matt, what's going on over at the CWL?
Lots going on in CWL. As you know, CWL has the online show Dynamite, which is like a Monday Night Raw show.
Boom.
It is exciting. Yes, a lot goes on there, but there's possible changes in the wins, combination of things. You know, the player involved in the CWL goes beyond just the bulletin. A lot of the interaction is on the Continental Wrestling League webpage on the Facebook message board, I guess, group page.
Yep. And
it's a really fun way to play the game. Now, one of the things that's coming in the works is some possible changes to the format. So kind of moving it more online. So things are in the works. But there's a lot going on there where you have feuds aplenty. Harry Hoodstar has gone after Victor Von Schnapp. Of course, Black Wrestlers Matter are still the tag champions there as well. So they're still a tough crowd to beat. There is a lot going on. It is a fun league. I highly recommend it to anybody who likes those leagues. I think once Andy, the commissioner, figures out the format he's going to go, the formula and the system he wants to run, it'll be fine. But there'll be a little transition for a cycle or two when that gets done.
Yeah, guys, just hold tight, and it's going to be good. I have all the faith in the world, so I'm pretty excited about what's going forward there. Okay, next up we have the IWL. League, Vicious, Vincent Payne. TV, Chris Endgame. Appalachian, Rowdy, Restangini. Coastal States, American Justice. Deep South, Pastor Payne. Great Lakes, The Great David. Great Plains, Captain Bud, Drunken Wasted. Gulf Coast, Blackjack Robertson. Mississippi Valley, Creed Michaels. Pacific States, Aiden the Great. Rocky Mountain, Triple X Extreme Xavier Jimenez. Sunbelt, Felix, 9 Lives, Benaventura. Tag Team, Captain Bud, Drunken Wasted, and Vitch Von Bruiser. TV, Eric Endgame and Chris Endgame. Six-Man, Luther Alexander, the Arabian Dream Ali Ratari, and Steve the Hitman Chambers.
Damn right.
TV Six-Man, Captain Bud, Drunken Wasted, Rich Von Bruiser, and Aiden the Great. Now, guys, this championship page may look a little bit different than the one you have at home. That's due to the fact that the IWA messed up on my strategies. So when I noticed the error, I emailed Kim over at the IWA, and she was able to adjust those for me. So that's why Luther Alexander, Ali Atari, and Steve Chambers are now the six-man tag team champions. So guys, I think it's super important that you double-check your strategies, make sure they're entered in correctly on the IWA side, and if there is a mistake, they will fix it for you, so don't be afraid to reach out to them. So, Matt, what's going on in the IWL?
Well, there's a lot going on. It's a league on the go. There's a lot going on. You know, the centerpiece feud, if you will, is really the RX, the Revolution Extreme, rallying their forces and starting to take control of the league. And the good guys, fan favorites, if you will, are trying to stop them. So it's gotten pretty good. There's a good mix of talent here. And breaking news, former NWL standout and IWAR favorite, Judge X, formerly Executioner X, on the way back.
Nice.
Yeah, he sent an email to me asking for the latest bulletin and to kind of get his wrestler reactivated, and I forwarded that to the IWA and told them that, hey, just in case, let's get this guy started. So
didn't his courtroom get burned down once?
I think so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. And then we had Creed Michaels, who looked like he was going to join Revolution Extreme, but it didn't end up being that way, and he kind of made RX look really bad, so I wonder what RX is going to do to kind of get their revenge on Creed Michaels.
Right. He's a bum.
You could have been a contender, Creed. You could have been a contender. Right. So, I'm a big fan of the post format. that we have here, and you know, we haven't heard back from Crimson Grim about he has an offer out there as well to join Revolution Extreme. So we'll see how that goes. The champions are still as follows. We have the Dungeon Master as the IWL Heavyweight Champion. We have Creed Michaels as the American Territories Champion, and we have the Regulators as the IWL Tag Team Champions. I can't wait to our next IWL pay-per-view. Is that the Fortune and Fire pay-per-view? What's the next one?
It is.
Yeah. Fortune and Fire pay-per-view coming up.
The big talk, of course, is that the 4 finalists, one gets a heavyweight title shot, one gets an American Territory shot, one gets a heavyweight tag title shot, and one gets fired, kicked out of the league.
Oh, boy.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
So just to go over the card for Fortune or Fired, we have, for the IWL Heavyweight title, we have Redwood Snodgrass, the Dungeon Master, versus Creed Michaels. American Territories title, we have Creed Michaels versus Felix Nine Lives Bonaventura. I wonder how the two matches are going to affect Creed Michaels. For the Tag Team Champions, we have the Regulators. We have the Regulators versus Blackjack Robertson and Triple X Xavier Jimenez. Then in a grudge match, we have Creed Michaels versus the Phantom Striker. And then we have a Fans Brings the Weapons, the Endgames, and Vicious Vincent Payne versus Ali Atari, Phantom Striker, and Krista Choir Boy. That's interesting.
Yes. That was a match set up by the crooked commissioner, James Ross. Trying to screw over Ali Atari again.
And then First Blood, we have Steve the Hitman Chambers versus Felix Nine Loves Bonaventura. And then we have the IWL versus RX Challenge, which includes Scotty Flash versus Luther Alexander, Rowdy Vesticchini versus the Phantom Striker, Blackjack Robertson versus Crazy Carl, Xavier Jimenez versus Van Death Valen, Koenig versus The Shadow, Tony Lowen, Senior Lucha versus Marlon Briggs, and Craven Cross versus Ali Atari. So a lot of guys doing double and triple duty on this show.
Yes. And I will say there's also been a recent challenge. Cowboy Jim Spur challenging former partner Scotty Flash, or as he calls him, Scotty Flush.
Nice.
Challenging him to an outhouse match, which is just like a coffin match. Only you have to put your opponent into an outhouse.
Nice.
So
next up, we have the NWL. So league champion, we have the highlight of the night, Johnny Vegas.
Nice timing.
Yes, I agree. TV, we have Blank. Atlantic, we have the New Age Outlaw, Mark Malice. Central, we have Big Blank number 2. Dixie, we have Fortune 500, Aaron McFleece. Eastern, we have Big Blank number 1. Mountain, we have The Patriot. Northern, we have Hostile Takeover. Pacific, we have Rock Simpson. Prairie, we have Piper, the Goofball Monroe. Southern, we have the legendary Ghetto Master, Jr., which might be his first title, to be honest.
I think it is.
It could be. Western, we have the Creature Feature, John Campbell. Tag Team, we have Aaron McFleece and Hostile Takeover. TV, the Blanks. Need to get them with another championship underneath their belts. 6-man, we have Mark Malice, Johnny Vegas, Vic Villain. And then the TV 6-man is Rock Simpson and Blank 1 and 2. So, looks like the Blanks are all over this title page yet again.
Yeah, the Blanks are, they just set the record for most points as a tag team and as a 6-man. So they've got those. They're actually tied for most points as a tag team. They are the most points for a 6-man team, and they're on pace to have one of them become the highest scoring singles wrestler. So the Blanks, also, I think you were telling me they declared for the draft.
They did. So they may be coming to a league near you real soon.
So get that going on. And I will say this. I will say that I mentioned the timing by highlight of the night, Johnny Vegas. He is the man who's prolific with his trash talk. And we gave him I tried to give him a cover I felt was fitting on the cover of the Iowa Ringside magazine. And he, of course, wins the league title. So good timing. And also to be noted that New Age Outlaw Mark Malice had a 501. He was the Atlantic champion, which is highest you can score. It wasn't perfect, apparently, because the awards came out and he did not win a major Iowa championship, which is sad, but such is life when you're taking on guys who have hundreds of wrestlers. But that's okay, because still, it's a 501, something to build on. Stumped a mud hole in your opponents. And I will also mention that Creature John Campbell, if you go out and buy Pro Wrestling Illustrated with Seth Rollins on it right now, you'll see a picture of him in the ring because he is an actual pro wrestler.
He was actually ranked in the PWI 500.
Yes, what was it, 488 or something like that? Or
Yeah,
moving up. So
I love it. So in addition, we had Killer Clown as our new national champion. So congratulations, Owen. Great job. Keep it up. And then this cycle, we'll have the match for the Patriot will be taking on Vic Villain for the Rising Star Championship this cycle.
sure.
Who was the other person that we owe a shot to for the Rising Star?
Poison.
Poison. He will also get his shot, not this cycle, but the next cycle coming up. So be ready for that, guys. It's coming up shortly. I thought the trash talk in NWL was exceptional, as always. I'm always feeling really good about those guys. It's always, it's almost cheating to to the extent because we are fortunate in the NWO that we get new wrestlers every cycle, and they jump on board with trash talking pretty quickly, and I think they do a good job, especially introducing themselves, kind of getting their characters over. So I'm very happy with the overall trash talk this cycle. So
Yeah, I think that the players caught on that when they come in, that to be part of the program, they need to tell us who they are and show us who they are. And we've had some players come through who were not long-term players, but they enjoyed their time there and what we've got going on and what you're really Alex here is doing. So I always say too, if you want to see what's going on in NWL, spend $1. Ask the IWA to send you a copy of the NWL or the BRL or any of the IWAR leagues. Check them out. But the NWL is a fun league to be in. We have a lot of colorful characters there, and it's full of mayhem.
my favorite being Jerome the Bone Smitty. So I'm a big Jerome Smitty mark. So
yes,
I love him.
I like the afro.
It's awesome. It's overall, this is good. I like his pictures. Anyone who draws a picture, I automatically fall in love with. So that's how it goes. But I think overall, they did a really good job. They're getting it at a faster clip than they have been in the past. So I'm really, really super stoked about that. So
Nice.
and make sure you take a look at your NWL Who's Who to kind of get understanding about who everyone's is. That's also included in the cycle as well. Guys, you'll also be seeing an advertisement for the GWL as well. They sent me over a write-up for approval, and which I approved. So you'll see an advertisement for the GWL and see what's going on over there. So
Nice.
it's just more options for you guys. You guys, are more than welcome, obviously to go anywhere you would like. So make sure you spend $1 or $2. Check out some leagues around the entire IWA and kind of fit, find one that's good, that you like, that you fit in well with. In addition, I just sent Kim a list of people who are overdue in terms of graduations. So guys, you don't want to be on that list, guys. So 17 cycles and you're out. No matter who you are, you're out.
That's right.
So just keep that in mind. I don't want to send any more emails with a list of names on it because I don't think that's cool.
Yeah, and that's a thing. It's a double-sided thing. I know people enjoy their time in the NWL, but again, this is a learning league, and one of the things about the graduation is that as you get better at the game, we want the players who are learning their way to have a chance to win titles and build confidence, and that's hard to do when they're getting smushed.
Absolutely.
We've talked about it many times before that players will go to a new league and find a lot of conflict and be like, wow, this is really hard. And that's the thing is set your expectations. So one of the things we're going to do starting in a few weeks is our reviews will not just be of IWAR leagues. That's right, we'll soon be covering leagues from across the IWA to give you a better idea of what's going on out there. So for example, our first show is going to be a combo of 2 different sets of leagues. One will be the American Wrestling League, the AWL, which is one of the top leagues in the game. It's been around and strong for a long time thanks to a couple of commissioners, or a few commissioners that have put in a lot of good work. And next, in that same show, will be a look at all of the women's leagues. So the FFL Fighting Femme Fatale League, the Vicious Vixen League, the Mystic Diva League, and the Lovely Ladies League.
Nice.
So look at those leagues, and we'll give you an unbiased preview and tell you which leagues we should go to. and which leagues, maybe just don't worry so much about.
All right, sounds fantastic. I dig it. So, is there anything you want to go over in terms of the IWA ringside?
Yes, we have some events coming up. So to keep you in the know, what is coming up, and we previewed some of them in the last issue. This issue coming, we have a list, a soft list of people who have signed up so far. So the first thing is the IWAR draft, the first annual draft. So we have players who have thrown their hats in the ring and said, "Hey, we're going to, make ourselves eligible to be drafted." Now, this can go to anybody, so you don't have to be even in the IWAR. You can be outside of it, but you do need to let us know who you are, your wrestlers you want to enter in the draft, who they are, their records, accomplishments, and a photo if you have a photo to use for them. Otherwise, we'll pick one, and you don't want that.
Yes.
Otherwise, doink. They're all doinks. So that's one thing going on. That's coming up in November. And remember, that's going to be a live draft on Facebook on the IWAR network. So you'll have the commissioners of the NWL, BRL, and CWL. I'm sorry, CWL, BRL, and IWL all chiming in to make their selections to help improve their rosters. Bound for Glory 4 is also coming up. In October is a huge month as far as gameplay goes. You have Bound for Glory 4, which is a singles wrestlers tournament. And here's how it works. You have wrestlers in pools of 4. They have 3 matches, so all 4 wrestlers face each other once. You get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, no points for a loss. The points you earn in those matches act as a tiebreaker. So if you win your match by 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and the other guy wins his matches by 5 points and 6 points, and he has 11 points built up, you have 3, but you've both won your matches. You know what I'm saying? There's for sake of argument, if you both have 6 points for wins, and one has 5 points for the match wins, and one has 3, the 5-point scores goes ahead. Once they move on to the next round, it's a knockout round. The top 16 scores advance, and it's a single elimination tournament. The winner earns 1 year of free Battle Royal entries for their league. And, well, all 4, actually this should be bumped up. All 4 finalists win 1 year of free Battle Royal entries. The overall winner wins half the entry fees and an IWAR World Championship match at WrestleRama 11. So that is a pretty damn good prize.
I agree.
So that's a year worth of Battle Royals, and if 30 wrestlers join, that's $15 out of big credit. If it's 50 wrestlers, that's 25, and so on. We don't know how big it'll get, but there it is. Next up is Tag Team Derby number 9, also starting in October. So these events start soon, so you want to get your signups into us as fast as you can. Riley1d20@gmail.com is how to reach me via email. So, Tag Team Derby number 9. 9, yikes. Similar to the Bound for Glory, teams are placed into 4-team pods. Top 16 teams advance to the knockout rounds. The top prizes, top 2 teams reach the finals. So again, Tag Team Derby is set up just like the Bound for Glory, but it's with tag teams. So you might say, well, what are tag teams going to do? Well, the prize for tag teams has traditionally always been the same thing, which is the 2 finalists each receive now the final prize of 1 free year of tag team and TV tag team title shots in their league. The overall winner earns half the entry fees and an IWAR World Tag Team Championship match at WrestleRama 11. So this will probably finish tournament-wise sometime in February or March. The last event starting up in October is the 7th Triple D Cup 6-man tournament. Good Lord, 7 years of this crap. So, yes, the Triple D Cup is a 6-man trios tournament. It is a single elimination tournament, and the winners earn 23 matches and $5 in out-of-big credit. But the overall winners are named the first ever IWAR World 6-man champions. And we will figure out down the line how those teams will be challenged for the triple titles. We were actually at one point, kind of fun backstory, when the TTL was first formed, the Triple Threat League, we talked about establishing a 6-man championship to kind of go with the IWAR championship. And the trios tournament we ran there was going to determine the winner. But when Blood Money and Dick Jackson won, I thought, well, if I give it to my team, people are going to squawk, so we didn't do that. But looking at the signups right now, you have Bound for Glory is just $1 per wrestler. That's pretty damn good deal. Now, what we're doing to determine the winners of the Bound for Glory is using the total value strategy for each wrestler. So I get a report from the IWA that tells me what all the wrestlers in the leagues scored that month for their total score. So if one wrestler has a 501, one has a 500, the 1 point wrestler gets the win, etc. We'll post the scores in the report when you're seeing these results. Same thing for tag team, only the problem is can't use the same kind of tag team strategy format because it's a more difficult thing to process. So we'll actually have the tag team derby matches played within the leagues, determine the winners for each league. They'll go head to head and so forth. And the 6-man championship is single elimination tournament. So it'll be pretty much straight on head to head, 4 leagues, 4 brackets, and we'll go from there. So there are some pretty good teams signed up so far. Some good wrestlers declared for the draft. Take part, get involved.
All right, sounds fantastic as always. I love it.
I've been swimming in raw sewage all day. I love it.
Again?
Yes.
It's gross. All right, guys, so that is it. So we are officially out of time. So for Matt Riley, I'm Alex